What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Simple Minds, and we're returning to Real Cacophony, 1979. And the next track is Premonition, which refers to almost a preternatural intuition, a clairvoyant vision about what is going to happen. And in that regard, I think it's typically used in relation to events or processes that actually do transpire, meaning a premonition isn't really a premonition if it's a thought about what will happen that turns out to be completely mistaken. So I think it's often applied retroactively, because people say a lot of things, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, but it's only if something very similar or identical to what is said occurs that people then say, oh, it was a premonition, like, I knew that was going to happen. So, yeah, I feel like it's often retroactively designated. But as I said, I think also there's a suggestion, or at least an implication, that there's some metaphysical quality to the epiphany, the sort of unnatural ascertaining of what is going to transpire. So, yeah, I don't know quite what to expect. It is a single word title, but it refers to a vision or an understanding in advance of something that is likely to take place, and perhaps only referred to as such after that thing does in fact take place. I'll stop talking, we'll listen to the song. This is Simple Minds, the track is Premonition, and it's from the 1979 album Real Cacophony. those beeps, almost like a, heart monitor or something. Is that a guitar? Is that just a little plink of a guitar chord or string rather? I'm not sure what that was. But yeah, like more electronic rock sounds, definitely a bit off the beaten path like most of the last album and a half has been. A bit Roxy music, maybe not as much as a couple of the previous tunes, both on this album and Life in a Day, but yeah, a bit of that sort of like eclectic, I don't know what to expect, I don't know where it's going, but it's all like a bit weird and interesting. And yeah, the organ chords, those big long organ chords really did stand out to me, especially, or not especially, and also the guitar energy and sort of overall energy injection when it would go into what I think the chorus, or what I think was the chorus. Yeah, there was like a transitional point that came through like 3 times or so where like it really seemed to get a bit more wicked and energetic, and I think that was like the beginning of the chorus. Lyrically, I mean, like Real to Real is being referenced here, but it's like back to back is said right after it. So I'm thinking Real to Real sort of in the more traditional spelling, not the spelling of the album title, though surely, playing off of words in that regard. But yeah, Real to Real in the way that like one reel is instantly followed by another one, back to back things happening in succession. Oh, and there was another line that caught my ear too, that now in the moment, because I was thinking about all those sonics I have forgotten. Oh, it was like something like a hole in my head, which like if you have a premonition, like maybe it's, something that's like shot right through your head that like didn't come from you. Again, the idea that premonitions maybe come from some metaphysical source and they're not like original creations of your brain per se, but they sort of strike you like lightning, an epiphany hitting your brain and giving you that vision, that clairvoyant vision that is maybe beyond the natural. So I wondered if that had something to do with it. It could literally be, though, like, shooting yourself or something where like you're quite literally creating a hole in your head. But yeah, I don't know how to take that, and I'm not sure how that may relate to the reel to reel, back to back sequence, which I think that was the chorus. But either way, like a really artsy, like a bit wicked and electronic sounding rock tune. And, I've said it a million times in the last album and a half, but it is crazy knowing where they started, where they're going to be in a couple years after this, and then where they'd be a few years after that in the mid-'80s, the like farthest in the timeline I've yet gotten. As I think I mentioned last time, I'm not sure if I did, but I have done one Simple Minds music video reaction now. I will do more of them. I'm still lagging on moving some video reactions over to YouTube, but because those often get blocked, I have to make like teaser videos, and at some point I was thinking like maybe some of those video reactions I'll just have them as like one of the features of my Patreon as distinct here from YouTube. I'm still probably going to try to move them over eventually, but there's been like now 4 or even like 5 batches of video reactions that I've yet to try to put onto YouTube. And I would say when I do a batch of like 6 or 7 music video reactions, it's often that like 1 or 2 gets through over here on YouTube, and the rest I have to make teasers for and then put a link to the full video over on my Patreon. And that takes time, and it's like, I'm not really complaining, but it's a bit more tedious than just shooting these audio reactions. So at some point you may see that video reaction from Simple Minds here on YouTube, but it's now public. It's publicly available over on my Patreon, so you could go check it out now. And as I said, there will be more Simple Minds videos coming. Shout out to Flemish Giant, who shared, like when I first looked on the Simple Minds official YouTube page, I found a playlist of their videos, and there was only like 6 in there, and I was like, wait, what? And then he found another playlist, which I think is also on the Simple Minds YouTube channel, but it had like 20 or something like that. It had more than 2 or 3 times the amount in the playlist I found. So yeah, definitely more Simple Minds music video reactions. We will of course continue to go through Life in a Day, Real to Real Cacophony. I'm forgetting what's like ahead of the furthest point I've gotten to, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I think there's at least a few more tunes here on Real to Real Cacophony. Can we put you there? Is that cool? I think she's okay with it. Let's see what we got left in the folder here. Okay, so we got 4 more. Changeling, Film Theme, Calling Your Name, and Scar. Film Theme is an interesting title, given, theme from great cities and so on. So it seems like something that they were working their way toward. In any case, yeah, we've got 4 more on this album, or at least in this album folder in the moment. I don't know if there's any bonus tunes here, but I don't think so. It looks like these are all from the album proper. In any case, a few more to go, and then, as I said, we'll presumably jump back back forward in time to where I was, which I think 86 was the latest album that I reacted to before jumping back for the original 2. Once again, shout out to Phil for providing the Simple Minds catalog, as well as to Mr. Solo, who got me started with the first couple. I think he shared, Suns and Fascination, Sister Feelings Call, and maybe one other, maybe New Gold Dream as well. So yeah, still lots more Simple Mind to go. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.